Hello Stationeers, we're back. This is episode 11 of the Vulcan gas depot. So in this episode we're going to work on expanding the base a little bit more. I'd like to get hopefully some auto mining set up so we don't have to do quite so much mining. Ideally I'd like to get iron and silicon since those are our biggest draws. For now let's just have a quick look down in the basement. Yeah, 5,600 moles of oxygen. Whoa, 40,000 moles. We gotta be... Okay, yeah, so 23 MPa. That's right, we moved all that over, so that's fine. Plenty of nitrogen. And carbon dioxide. It's kind of warm. Temperature's coming up because we are processing new stuff, so that's all looking good. So actually, before we head outside, we're going to want... I did want to get some more plants going in here. What is making angry pipe noises? We better figure that out. Those are all fine. It's definitely somewhere around here. Why is this making so much noise? What's going on here? So it's not over here. I can't for the life of me figure out what's going on here. Oh, that's why. 57 megapascals in this pipe. Because we're not getting good condensation happening? Maybe? Let's just back this off. $470. So this is not getting enough flow through. Enough heat transfer, so 16 kilojoules coming through, so we're gonna have to get some automation on this. I guess for the time being it's fine. It's gonna make some noise, but the pressure is dropping. That is a little weird. There's 5 whole liters of water in there though, so we got plenty of water that's made. It just needs to be cooled down. We'll look into getting some bigger heat exchangers on there. I do want to optimize that system a little bit here as well. So I guess for now we'll just pretend the angry noises are not happening and continue working in here. So we're going to put down a few pipe segments here. We'll need some water pipes downstairs. Oh, no water pipes. Shoot. Are there any we can steal? Let's just steal this one here. Okay, so that has water now. We're going to need a grow light. Okay, so the plan here is we'd like to get some more wheat growing. One of the traders out there will buy some wheat from us. So if we grow a little bit more here, we can sell that. Let's just double check the oxygen in here. Oxygen looks good, and CO2 is still plenty high. So we're not bringing any CO2 in since we're processing new stuff, so we're going to have to watch that. So we'll put the grow light up over here. We don't have to be super precise on the placement of this one, since we're not going to be able to get full use of it anyway. And we'll wire all this in. Okay, so that's on along with the rest of them. And I think they're all just named, yeah, they're all just named grow light. I don't think the name actually matters. I'm not doing a batch name read. So we want wheat seeds. Okay, 6 should be 30, and I think the trader wanted to buy 28, so that'll be just perfect. As long as in here, we'll have a quick bite to eat and drink, and then head out and do some other work. Okay, to start with, I'd like to get a deep miner cartridge for my tablet. I just want to have a look and see what resources are actually available to us here. Okay, so we have... oh great, we're on top of coal. The least useful thing we could possibly have. Let's just look real quick. There were some other regions right nearby here. Okay, silver, also pretty useless to us. Nickel. So nickel is not completely useless, but it's not really what we want. So my waste tank's getting low. I've flown quite a ways, and it doesn't look like there's anything really nearby the base that's going to be useful. Okay, well that was kind of a waste. So that's unfortunate. We're going to have to figure out an alternative to that, I guess. We'll probably just have to go quite a bit further when we do actually start mining. For now, it looks like nothing near the base is all that useful for the mining operations, so that's change of plans, I guess. Let's double check that water tank or water pipe. Okay, that is cooled down, so that's looking for pressure dropped. So I guess we'll start working on some of the other little miscellaneous stuff I did want to do. I'd like to remove these stairs. I want to keep working on this main bus idea that I was working on before. And that's going to mean just changing a few things around here. So the stairs, I think, are going to come somewhere over here. We'll maybe put those, like, right here. Actually, let's move them one further over. Yeah, let's put them there. Okay, there we are. That was a lot more work than it had to be. Okay, so we're going to look at changing a little bit of this around. So to start with, I think this hydrogen is going to move. Let's see, let's make sure we got the right pipe here. Yep, that's hydrogen in there, or volatiles. Looks like we got that pressure a little bit high. So let's pull that back down to vacuum, or pretty close to vacuum anyway. Oh, we got a bunch of stuff built up in there again, too. That's looking quite nice. Okay. So that's that, and we'll go into the basement now. Okay, to start with, let's get this thing filled up.
Jetpack critical.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is rewire all of these tanks so that they're like this one and we can run straight out on the floor with the piping. That cable... yeah, we're going to have to relocate that cable a little bit too. That's fine, we can move that to the side. So to start with, we'll take these power cables up and over. Okay, and then let's pull this piping out. So this wire is a little bit ugly, but because I can still walk through there, I think I'm just gonna live with it. Okay, so now we can put in... let's just run this like this, probably. There, now that should all be connected back together. That has power. This has power. Yeah, I think we've got power to everything. Okay. So we're going to have to relocate a water pipe and an electrical cable. Okay, so this electrical cable should be pretty easy to move. We can just move that over by one. And then the water pipe here, why does that... Oh, that's not got power either. We're going to have to hook that back up. Let's see. So water pipe on the floor, that can just come up. That seems weird. Okay, let's go have a quick look at this down in the basement again. Okay, and then let's remove this and relocate it. Okay, make sure we got power again. Looks like we do. Okay, so this can be removed now. And that will allow us to put a 5 section of pipe through the wall. Okay, that's looking good. So there's one there, one there, one there. And then can we put in... What is this one here? Well, this is hot water. Okay, that's going down to the basement. That's what that is. I guess we're going to have to just reroute that. Let's come in here like this. And there's still... We should be able to undo this one here. There we go. Well, I can't... I think there's a pipe just lost in there. What if we do... Let's take an angle grinder, maybe. There we go. There's that pipe segment. Okay, this is proving to be an awful lot of work. All this just to move this over by one. Okay. Okay, so that whole thing should now be connected over. That's an awful lot of running around for very little change, but hey, at least we got something done. Okay, and then we'll re-weld that floor. This one was double welded. Let's re-double weld that one. There we go. Okay, that should let us put a pipe through there now, finally. And we can. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, so that is all of those run through. So that's got power. We'll need to wire up these tanks again. There we are. Okay. Lovely. So that is 18 degrees. We are bringing in new CO2, and that means the oxygen, yes, the percentage is dropping. Beautiful. Actually, I'd like to do that just a little bit differently down here, too. So instead of a straight 5 on this, I would like actually a straight 3, and then a straight 1, and then a T-junction there. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Oh, that water is just in a terrible spot. Yeah, let's just go up higher. So that now is going to let us put pipe meters on these segments. It's a little bit silly, but again, it's something I just would like to have. This would have gone so much easier if I would just put a little bit more room down here. Oh well. Really ought to get a little automation on there. Okay, we got 8 liters of water in here. That's looking real nice. 34 degrees. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Could run this in here, maybe. That's probably the place to do it. Let's just see about running this wire. Yeah, there's wiring right there. Perfect. So if I come this direction, there, and now I can disconnect this segment in here. Okay, that looks a little better. Let's go get, we want 4 pipe meters, so let's go grab those. Oh, a pipe label. Let's see how those work. Lovely. Well, that'll be so nice. I was just wondering if that was possible. Okay. So now I guess I would like to get, let's do a little bit more rewiring here, replumbing. How are we going to do this? So I guess let's just hook up this bus here.
Waste tank caution.
Do want that way so that all of them are the same orientation. It's a little bit of extra wire, but we need to worry about later on.
Temperature high.
Oh boy, this is not good.
Oxygen low. Temperature
Okay,
high.
we took some lung damage. Shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Where did our pill end up? There's our pill. We may have to take that. Yeah, let's go in and do that. I don't want lung damage. Why do we still have lung damage? No, we'll have to look at that later. We can make plenty more pills. We've got all these ferns growing, so that's not a problem. Okay. Let's wire these in. And let's actually just make sure we can run a cable through here. We can. Perfect. And this one, it seems a little bit excessive to wire it around from this direction, but the reason is so that the pump is oriented the same way, so that the left arrow takes us into the bus and the right arrow takes us into the relevant storage tank. Let's get the pipes wired in, plumbed in. And we need more pipe. Okay, so that is finally resolved. The bus has that tiny amount of pollutants in it. We're going to have to scrub that, so we'll run it further this direction. And then we can steal back a lot of this now. Okay, we're going to want a turbo pump on that. Oh, we ran out of power again. Oh, this sucks. So we'll manually kick these panels around. There we go. So in the morning that should get some more power. Okay, there we go. Let's get a little more of this wired in as well. Okay, so that is mostly wired up. Looking good on that. Oh, let's put these labels on if we can too, I guess. Okay. Those aren't too bad. Do we have power again? That's kind of annoying. So the sun is not producing any power there. We're going to have to look at... Yeah. But we have to get up quite a bit before we get into the sun. There, we've got power finally. Maybe? No? Yeah, we're definitely going to have to look at that. There. Yeah, and those are only producing half power. I'm going to have to redo this a little bit. But that's a job for after the break. I'm going to take a short break and kind of think about my next moves. See you shortly. Okay, I'm back. I've done a little bit more planning and figured out what the next steps are. I think first order of business is we've got to get the power situation sorted out. So I'm going to take care of that as soon as I can here. Let's see, mining drill. Somewhere around here we have a solid fuel generator that I have to find. Okay, I can't find the solid fuel generator, so I'm just going to make a new one. They're not that expensive, I don't think. Ooh, 50 grams of iron. Alright. Okay, while I'm waiting for the solid fuel generator to print out, I did want to fix this thing here. For whatever reason, this just installed the opposite way of the other ones. There we go. So now that's, yeah, now that's in the same orientation. Okay, we're going to install this solid fuel generator down here. We'll double weld these. The plan is eventually to capture the gases given off by these generators, so for now we're just going to let them vent because we need the power more than we need the carbon dioxide, but eventually the carbon dioxide will be nice to capture as well. And we'll start by wiring this up. Okay, we're going to need more super heavy cables. We got the rest of the cables. We'll keep wiring these up. So now, if we throw in a little bit of coal into here, we should get some power in the batteries. Why are we not? That is the data port. I wired this incorrectly. Okay, those are welded up, and now let's wire it correctly this time. There we go. Helps when you wire it up correctly. Okay, so there's not much coal in there. I do have quite a bit more over here. I'm just going to go grab a little bit real quick. Okay, so that addresses our power needs for at least the immediate term. Okay, let's get these reprocessing again. And we'll turn on the boost coolers. So there's no storm coming just yet. I would like to get a little bit of wind power set up as well. Let's get a couple wind turbines, the big ones. And we'll double weld these up as well, so that completes a 5x5 pad right here. And eventually this will be the basement under the living quarters. We're going to stick a few things down here. There's going to be obviously the coal generators, but for right now we're just going to stick a couple wind turbines on this, just as a temporary measure. Oh, of course, our battery is dead. And we'll wire that in. Okay, we'll weld those up. Cables, and there we go. So that one's hooked up. And then we'll need to hook up one more wire here to the other one. There. Oh, these rotate now. That's cool. That's a new feature in the game. The update happened recently that these now point different directions instead of just always facing the same way, so that's cool. Battery's looking much healthier, and if we get a storm now, those wind turbines should fully charge the batteries completely. I don't think we'll actually have to burn any more coal for the time being, because we'll probably get a storm before then. Okay, so our greenhouse is looking pretty good. We stopped bringing in new carbon dioxide, of course, because we're processing. I'm going to have to set up a intermediate tank so we can do processing without stopping this. That's going to be something for a later date. Oh, our wheat is finally ready to go as well. Let's go sell this wheat real quick. These guys are still going to want refueling, so we won't send them away quite yet, but I can sell this right away. 28 of those, sells for 84. Not too bad. And he wants 21 cardboard boxes. I don't think I'm going to sell those. I have steel at 60 cents a piece. I don't think I'm going to sell the cans either. It's really not that much. I'd like to get a suit storage set up in here. Let's see if we can put that. Yeah, we can't put it there. Shoot. Maybe we won't put it in here. Guess I could put it here. Okay, let's see if we can set this up. So waste is going to come out there. So that'll just need a vent on it. Okay, so breathing is there, and propellant is there. So breathing is the most important one. Guess we can come up on this one here. Yeah, we'll leave room for the regulator there. Okay. And we'll wire in the regulator. And we'll set that to 7,500. Actually, let's go 7,000. Okay, and getting carbon dioxide over there for the... Oh boy. We could do it. Because I could run it... Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm just going to manually fill the propellant tanks. That's not worth trying to do. Oh, it's not wired in either. I guess let's do that quick. if we put that on there. There we are. Okay, our next issue that we need to worry about, well, two issues really. One is that it is quite warm in here. If I turn off the processing of new fuel outside or new atmosphere, that will cool it off in here by bringing some fresh air in. But we actually need to get some more sustainable cooling set up on that. And we also need to get water into this pipe system. The fountain is pulling water from our plants, and we only have about a day or two before we drink everything that's left in the plants there. So we have plenty of water made, we just need to plumb that in. Let's go, actually we'll need more pipes. Okay, so we have plenty of water made. We've got 13 liters in here. Okay. So cool water is going to come in to the system over here. Okay, it would be closer to go over here, but we can't get that because it's blocked by the tanks. So I think we're going to have to come down this way. And that's blocked by the tank too. I think if we come back this way, towards the wall, yeah, there we go. And then we can go across the wall. Okay, and then we will wire in, oh boy, that is just so tight in here. There's the pump we want. Guess we'll install that with the controls facing outward. Let's just make sure we have the liquid, the cold water here. Yep, that's cold water. And we'll wire in the electrical side of the pump. Alright. So now it's 2 liters at 34 degrees. Oh, yeah, I forgot. We set up the main bus, so this is separate now. Shoot. How is this? Is that cooling? It is cooling. Okay. Okay, so we're going to put a heat exchanger here. And then we're going to wire in the CO2 storage from the greenhouse. And then we're going to connect that to the cold bus that we have over here. There we go. Now this should be, yeah, 1200 joules of cooling happening on the greenhouse CO2 supply. Yeah, and that is slowly dropping now. So that should try and come to 20 degrees. And actually, since that is, I forgot that that is disconnected, so now we will just hook this up, or turn this back on. And we'll just keep making more CO2. So now we have 13 liters of water. Let's set this to 1 liter per second. And we should have a liquid pipe meter on there just so we can read that. Let's get one more of those. Okay, so we got 13 liters on this side and 3 liters on that side. 12 and 4, and the temperatures 33 and 23. Beautiful. So we'll turn that off, and 16 liters in the greenhouse at 27 degrees. Beautiful. And the greenhouse temperature in the CO2 tank is coming down. So that will very soon be usable. We can start making some more water. Oh, and there's a storm. So let's quickly see how our batteries are doing before the storm here. Yeah, so these are going to fully charge. Yeah, those batteries are fully charged already, so even a single storm just immediately charges them from any condition. Okay, we're going to head back into the greenhouse and just kind of wait out the storm. I need to de-stinkify a little bit.
Pressure critical.
Whoa! That was really bad. Okay, we need to slow that down a little bit. It did cool it off in here, though. Holy cow. I guess let's just run down in the basement and see how that system's working. Okay, so the pollutants are condensing out. Okay, back after another break. We're gonna do a little more work here. Okay, storm is finished. We're gonna come down in the sort of outside basement here. Batteries are all charged up, and we're gonna finally get a little bit of automation happening on this thing here. We will start by renaming a couple of these. Water filter and water H2 combustor, I guess. Okay. So we'll put in these names. Okay, we'll get our main loop set up. Okay, so from the output pressure on the water filtration, so at nighttime temperatures, yeah, we're at around 150 kPa. So that should condense. Let's go 225. So what we're doing by setting the pressure here is effectively setting the temperature at the water, because it will cool until it condenses and then be pulled over to the other side where the other cooling happens. And we don't want that to happen until it's cooled down to a reasonable temperature. If we allow really high pressure in here, it will condense more quickly and therefore at a higher temperature. So we don't want that. And then let's read from the H2 combustor, and we'll read the pressure on its output as well. Let's see, we're reading the pressure there. We'll just stop that at 1500. That way there's a pressure differential across that, because we're coming in at 5000, so we want to limit the output to something well less than 5000. And we'll put in the name there, and then set the mode on that one as well. And so we'll just leave both of these on all the time, and the mode controls whether they're actually running or not. Oh, actually, on this one we want to set if the pressure inside is too high, we should actually, we should turn the thing off entirely. We'll go up to 25,000 in there, and then we will do, instead of the mode, the on-off switch. So on controls whether it's burning new fuel, and then mode controls whether it's pumping the fuel inside of it out to the output pipe. So that, I think, should do this. Should do the automation there. Okay, so we'll export that code, and we'll put it into the chip there. And let's try turning these on. Oh, and as soon as I turned that on, that turned on, so that's under control, and that's no longer under control if I turn it off. And mode is idle because the pressure's too high. Yeah, we should get some more volume on some of these as well. Okay. And then I actually want to get some cooling on this one as well. But aside from that, it all looks like it's working. Okay, we're going to have to take this out and put a frame in. Okay, now let's put in that radiator. There we go. Okay, let's start by getting a 1x3 on there. And a 1x2 on there, just to boost those volumes a little bit. There, that should cool much more effectively. Should boost the throughput quite a bit. And then so the idea is this gas that's coming out of this H2 combustor is just incredibly hot. And even the outside Vulcan temperature, as warm as it is cool enough to cool it down substantially. So we're going to do as much pre-cooling as we can here. And then that way that doesn't have to cool so much on our actual cooling system. So now if we look at this, yeah, this is losing a whole kilojoule of heat. Honestly, we should see about putting, possibly putting another one in there. That's coming down pretty quickly. Yeah, I think we're fine there. And so this is now condensing at around 200 Celsius, and that means this is holding 133 on that side and 136. Yeah, so that's staying nice and cool. Beautiful. And then this network over here has 2 liters of nice and cool water in it. Beautiful. So that's looking very good. I think we have solved this here. So the pressure there looks stable. We're running about 1.5 there, and what's the duty cycle on this? Yeah, it's just running periodically. So that's looking very good. And why is that 7 megapascals? Okay, so I think the water manufacturing is automated. This is looking good. I think it's time for a quick bit of mining. Okay, so I got all of the steel into the furnace that I went out and mined. I made a double batch of steel, and while I'm waiting for dayfall, I'm just going to repair these panels real quick. Okay, we're also going to set up some walls around here so that we don't have to worry about storm damage all the time. We'll just glass these in. That's why these are up on the highest floor here, so they can be just left in vacuum. We'll go get some more walls. Okay, so let's get that steel made. Boy, that star, that black hole is really low in the sky. We're barely getting any light at all at this time of the year. Okay, let's check on this water system here. Just double check this all again. This is holding temperature nicely. We've made a whole nother liter just overnight. And pressures and temperatures are looking good. There we are. That's running very well. Okay, and this room is bringing in carbon dioxide. So 52% oxygen, and that should slowly be dropping. So we should have just a ridiculous amount of oxygen downstairs stored up. And 15 liters of water in here. Beautiful. Oh, we need to bring more carbon dioxide over to the greenhouse, though. Looks like we drained that tank down in the basement. Let's just check a couple things before we do this real quick. Okay, so that is open. That tank is empty. Okay, we'll turn off the processing and cool this down. Leave that running, and those should both be turned on. They are. Okay, this is going to come down to temperature. It'll take it a minute. Yeah, that's going to take a while to cool. In the meantime, we're going to need a couple more turbo pumps. And we will need one on here, so we want the left arrow pointing into the bus. Like that. There we are. Whoa! Falling off the edge of our building there. And that one there. Okay, so we're going to need more super heavy cable. Okay, so we're going to take all of the gas out of the main bus. We want to clean that pollutant out of it real quickly. I guess we can stop. That's just carbon dioxide in there at that point. Okay, and then this filter here, we're going to need to put a pollutant filter in there. So let's go make one of those real quick. Well, our pollutant went somewhere. I'm not sure where it went, but it's gone. So that's situation resolved, I guess. So now let's turn... This is pure carbon dioxide with basically no pressure. Let's turn that one on. And let's pump into the bus, and pure carbon dioxide, reasonably cool. We'll just move a little bit to start with. There we go, we'll move a few hundred moles over. And now that it's in here, it should start cooling down. There we are, 34, 33.9, 33.8. So yeah, it's coming down in temperature. 500 joules of cooling happening there. And that's being transferred into the 20-degree line, which is holding temperature nicely. Beautiful. And there's 600 liters of pollutants there. Let's get a couple more. Yeah, actually, I think it's fine for now. How is this thing doing? Actually, let's switch that out for a bigger cooler. There we are. So welding torch and steel sheets. There we are. And let's wire that in. Let's plumb that in. There we are. 4 kilojoules as compared to, I don't know, a kilojoule or something from before. And so now this should be rapidly dropping. Yeah, beautiful. And this line is going to come up in temperature briefly, but these units over here should pull that down quickly enough. And how are these pressures looking? Ooh, we're getting condensation happening. So we need to fix that real quickly. Okay, large tank going there. And let's just let's plumb that in. There we are. So now these things could be removed. I'll have to slowly work through them and put turbo pumps on them to pump them down. But that stops the condensation from happening. Glad I caught that when we did. Yeah, that's looking quite nice. 610 liters of liquid, and we're pulling, so 2.5 kilojoules each, so 5 kilojoules in total. There we are. Okay, 4.5 liters of water. Beautiful. We should get one more of those on there. Okay, so we'll add a couple more of those, and we'll plumb those in. There we are. So now this temperature should drop quite a bit. Was that about 370, 380, something like that before we plugged them in? Yeah, that's dropping rapidly. Beautiful. That means this is running very nicely. And our pipe network there. Okay, so we are dumping hot gas to the outside. We're just coming into morning, so that's a little unfortunate. And this is holding its temperature pretty nicely at 25. And this is almost cooled as well. Okay, I think I've got everything running pretty stably now. So we've got 245 in there. That means we do have some available for cooling in the greenhouse. Okay, no storm on the indicator. The batteries are getting a little bit low. I'm going to throw just a little bit of coal in there. Let's get a couple more evaporators. Okay, so this pipe is holding at 24. It's having just the tiniest little bit of trouble keeping up. So we're going to put in a little bit more capacity here. We'll start by moving this wire over. There. And now if we put in a phase change device, evaporation chamber, right there, we want the liquid out right there. Okay. And we'll put another one right there. Beautiful. Let's set those up. A wrench and 2 steel sheets. And now a welder and 2 steel sheets. Okay. And the plumbing. Oh, and of course we're one pipe short. There we are. And then let's put the settings on those. Okay, and let's see what this temperature is like. So that's holding at 22 degrees. Oh, those are going to need power as well. Yeah, that dropped really quickly. That's because those are filling up, but that means we have plenty of capacity now to keep that right down there at the temperature we're looking for, 20 degrees. Let's move a bit more carbon dioxide into the greenhouse. That's nice and cool. We can just move it all over there. Alright, transfer this whole tank over to the greenhouse. Yeah, we might as well just start making more. Batteries are looking good. Greenhouse is 3 megapascals at 20 degrees. Lovely. Okay, let's turn off a couple of these extra coolers. Now that we have everything kind of down to operating temperature, we shouldn't need those last two. We can use those for kind of turbo cooling when things get a little out of hand. 524, let's just pull in some more pollutants into that. As long as we got these nice long nights. Beautiful. I would say this system is starting to work pretty well. We are getting a little bit of condensation happening there. Oh, interesting. It's noticeably warmer over here because of all the radiators. I think we're going to just allow that condensation to happen there. It doesn't seem like it's going to be high enough to be a problem. Famous last words, of course. We'll just keep an eye on that for now. Okay, let's switch that off. And I think that's a good stopping point for the episode. So if you haven't already subscribed, please consider doing that. I'm just about to 100 subscribers. I think I'm at 97 right now while I'm filming this. So if we can get over 100, that'd be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.